extra time.
Looking at the conditions in the UAE, what kind of adjustments did you have to make as far as your line and length is concerned?
I think the line and length stays pretty much the same in all the conditions that you play in. If anything, you might want to adjust to be maybe a little bit on the fuller side, since the wickets are a bit slow and they can't sit up. But you know, it depends on the conditions that you're faced with on the particular day. You need to find the length that's going to work for that particular wicket. So it's about making that adjustment. But to start off with, you're going to hit your normal, I guess, 6 to 7 meter length, and then in the back end, depending on whether the wicket is slowing down or whether there's dew, then you can, you know, see what sort of adjustments you need to make, and also the situation the game is under, and what the game is asking for you to do, whether it's to take wickets or be a bit more defensive. And also it depends the lengths you're going to bowl when you have a look at your field as well. Or yeah, you bowl according to your field. So it's just about making adjustments. But at the start of the day, it's all about sticking to good old fashioned lining length, top of off.
Another one, KG, has it make any kind of difference to you having to bowl without the application of saliva?
Not really. The ball has been swinging anyway, and it's T20 cricket, so I think, you know, swing pretty much gets negated early on, even though you were to apply saliva to the ball. I guess the only time that it would be interesting and where it would play more of a dilemma would be in Test cricket, since you have to look after the ball much more. I guess in T20 cricket, the older the ball gets, the happier you are, because it makes it softer and it's not as hard for the batsman to hit.
Is there any difference between bowling in India and in the UAE, since your figures this season are almost similar to last one?
It is different. The conditions here have been quite tricky because we're playing at the same venues, but you know, you play on fresh wickets at certain times and sometimes on used wickets, and they all play quite differently. I mean, Sharjah in the beginning was really flat, and then it sort of slowed down, and the par score went from about 210 to about 180. And in Dubai, the scores in the beginning were about 180, and they've sort of stayed the same. So now you're getting scores of 170, 160. But you know, it is a little bit different. I feel that there is some seam movement sometimes, especially, I mean, if you have a look at last night's game in Abu Dhabi, a few games in Abu Dhabi where the ball's been seaming around. But all the pitches are definitely on the slower side, which is pretty similar to India. But it's a different kind of slow. I don't know how to describe it. I feel as if the conditions in the UAE have something for all the bowlers, for all the players, all facets of the game: spin bowling, fast bowling, and batting as well. So yeah, you definitely have to work hard for your wickets, and you have to work hard for your runs. So they've been quite decent conditions. Obviously, being the subcontinent, they would be on the slower side.
What impressions did the late Nelson Mandela make on you, and how has that affected and fueled your desire to give back to your community and country?
I do think that Nelson Mandela played a huge role in the world, particularly in South Africa, fighting for a basic need, which is, or a basic right, which is freedom. And it is important for people to not feel as if they are inferior. This is very important. So liberation of the mind is the most important thing, and I guess that's the message you want to spread, especially as a sportsman, where you do have a platform to, I guess, express this, because a lot of people do follow what you're doing. That's just the nature of us as sportsmen. There's nothing different to if I compare myself to like or any other person, I'm probably the same, but I just play cricket where I'm on a stage where people can listen. So there is a social responsibility, I feel, to at times just keep a reminder that um, fighting for the right causes is important. And most certainly, I wouldn't want to shove my opinions or my ideals down anyone's throat. It's just, like I said, if I'm on this platform, I will express my opinions like I am now on this matter. I think it is important for people to understand that on the political front, liberation is really important, and the human rights to be treated with dignity is important.
Okay. KG, plenty of questions actually coming in on bowling with your good friend from South Africa, Anrich, who's also done so well. So let's just take one, combining all of them. People have described your partnership with Anrich Nortje as being one of the most lethal in IPL history. What do you make of such comments, and talk us through about bowling with him?
It's awesome bowling with him. I mean, he's done really well. He's got a lot of pace, and he's also always willing to learn, and he's open to new ideas. And I think that's a great trait to have. And he always gives his best for the team. Myself and him are always giving our best for the team. That's just in our nature. But at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and I think we've done it well so far. And now we challenge ourselves to do it. Hopefully we qualify. We're one game away from qualifying, and hopefully we do it when it matters the most, in those knockout stages. But it's been really amazing to bowl with him. He's come a long way, and he's still got a long way to go, including myself as well. So to be called one of the most lethal partnerships in IPL history, that's some feat. But when we're playing, we're just taking it game by game. We're not walking around as if we were the most lethal. That's the last thought on both of our minds. We need to worry about the next game, and I guess just being normal.
Okay. A question looking ahead to the last match, and looking ahead to the one that's coming up. Umesh Rajput says Delhi Capitals is on top of the points table at the moment, but you're coming off a loss against Punjab. It wasn't such a great game. Is this a wake-up call for the team?
I don't know if I would call it a wake-up call. It's just a loss, and losses do happen. So it's not about panicking and trying to reinvent the wheel. We need to assess where we felt we went wrong, which we have done already. I mean, from the second we lost, people are already talking about the game and talking about where we can improve. But bearing that in mind, we need to realize what good came out of that game as well. So you keep reinforcing on what you're doing well, not just focusing on the negatives. There were probably few negatives in that game. And at this stage in international cricket, or at this stage where you have such quality players, those few negatives can go quite a long way. I mean, so all we need to do is not reinvent the wheel. Losses can happen. So it's just about getting back up and getting ready for the next game, having identified what we have done wrong, and also what we have done right, and make those minor adjustments.
What aspect of your bowling are you enjoying the most at the moment?
To be honest, I enjoy bowling whenever I have the ball. It's a challenge for me, whether I bowl two up front or two in the death. three in the death and one up front. Every time I'm given the ball, you know, I have a job to do, and yeah, cricket is my passion. Well, sport is my passion, and I happen to be playing cricket. And I'm glad to be doing what I do. And my job is to try and take wickets and not go for as many runs as possible. So whenever I'm given the ball, that's all I try and do.
Your thoughts on Shreyas Iyer's role as the captain of the Delhi Capitals team? And additionally, he wanted to ask you your advice to a young speedster like Tushar Deshpande.
Shiraz has been really unbelievable as a captain. I think he is young for a captain, especially when you are leading overseas players and on a big stage such as the IPL. You know, it's no Mickey Mouse stage. So he's done really well so far. He's also leading from the front. But Shreyas is just a normal guy. You know, he's chilled out. So when we get on the field, he is the captain, and he has to make decisions as well. But at least there are some senior players, and I'm sure Ricky is helping him a lot, and other senior players around the team where we can discuss a few things. So it's a very liberal environment. It's not a dictatorship, which is probably one of the reasons we've been really successful. So he's got all the tools around him, and I think he's used them well so far. Also, Tushar's got a lot to learn. Obviously, he just needs to take a game by game. He has not bowled badly at all, even in the last game. Like I said again, it's just about those minor adjustments, and all he has to do now is learn from his experiences and use the tools that are around him. That's how he's going to get better, because he's got all the attributes.
You recently tweeted that the skill level of the players in this year's IPL has been phenomenal. If you could highlight a couple of instances where you thought so about this edition of the tournament.
I can't highlight a few instances because there have been so many. The batters are really skilled. They're playing all types of shots. The bowlers, there's pace bowling, there's wrist spin, there's finger spin. I know there's been quite a few drop catches, but I mean, it's not easy. That has been one of the issues in this tournament. It's not easy to catch for some reason. I've dropped the catch as well. But you know, some of the catches that have been taken have been phenomenal. And some of the skill level with the bowlers, especially in the death, and the batters and the type of shots that they're playing in, especially how the games are just going right to the death. In this IPL, if there's one thing that I can take out of it, and one thing I won't forget, is that, you know, every team is in it, and no team has won until the last ball has been bowled. That's the competitiveness has been, you know, second to none. And I always knew that it would be this way, even though there is no crowd, because you're dealing with professional cricketers, and professional cricketers who get to this stage are naturally competitive. And once you have a whole lot of athletes or cricketers who are competitive on such a big stage, of course it's going to be very competitive. And that's reflecting in the skill level. That's reflecting in how the games are contested and how deep they're going.
In the past, you had picked Dale Steyn's outswingers, Imran Khan's in-swingers, and Waqar Yunus's Yorkers as the ingredients for the perfect test bowler. Who all would make up for you your perfect T20 fast bowler?
I mean, there's so many great bowlers. I mean, in my head that time, subconsciously, maybe I was just thinking Pakistani bowlers. But there's so many great bowlers, man. I don't know.
In this edition of the IPL, Delhi Capitals will be at the top of the podium with help from your bowling.
With help from my bowling, I think it's going to have to be a team collective.
Yeah.
If you have a look, we've had 7 different man of the matches in the games that we've played. So there's just match winners in our team, match winners galore. So all of us, it showed that all of us are hungry to win. And of course, I mean, if I can pick up a man of the match and that secures us top spot, then I guess you can look at it that way, yes. But it's not because of my bowling. Each and every individual has bowled really well. It just so happens that I have the purple cap. That's it.
Yeah.
But I'm the one who's lucky to get the wickets. But I mean, Akshar's bowling beautifully. Ashwin's bowling beautifully. Anas is bowling beautifully. Tushar bowled beautifully in the game that he's played. Harshal Patel was in. He bowled well. He contributed. Everyone has contributed. Avesh came in. He contributed. So you got guys who are putting their hand up. Shreyas has contributed with the bat. Shikhar's contributed. Rishabh has. Stoyan has. Hetty has. So, I mean, Prithvi has as well, even though he's going through a bit of a shaky run. So it's about a team effort. And, you know, you got Ajinkya Rahane sitting out. That just shows you that it's quite tough. The camaraderie in the team is really good, and people are willing to put their hands up.
Yourself, KG, it says your records in the IPL, you're the purple cap holder at the moment, shows your consistency in the format. How do you bring in such consistency in T20 bowling?
I think it's just about realizing what works for you, and also just summing up conditions and bowling toward those bowling according to the conditions, and also trusting your strengths and using your strengths and seeing how your strengths can go with the conditions. And then it's just about push and pull.
All right. Okay. Last one, I think, KG, this one we'll talk about the match that's coming up next. It's going to be our first day game, and the team hasn't been able to win a match yet in Abu Dhabi. 2 losses have come there. The challenges of Abu Dhabi and your thoughts looking ahead to the Kolkata game.
Surely, third time lucky. Third time lucky in Abu Dhabi. I'll leave it at that. Hopefully,
All
third
right.
time lucky.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.